does my YouTube channel. Today I'm continuing my initiative to test out different writing tools for you guys and kind of cut the wheat from the chaff, find which tools work really well for what kinds of writers, and hopefully help you find something that can help you with your writing. Today I'm testing out a super cool idea for building a fictional world. I've seen it a couple times on different writing forums, but I've never seen it demonstrated, so that's what I'm going to do today. Is I'm going to actually try it before your very eyes, demonstrate how to do it, and kind of walk you through the process of using really simple materials that are free. Go outside and find them yourself to help you build a fictional world, be it a fantasy world, sci-fi world, realistic fiction. You can really go any direction in this activity. Truthfully, I don't know what it's called. I haven't been able to find a solid name for it, so I'm just going to call it the drop. So come on and write with me today. We're going to test using random plot generators, 2 different types of setting, one being a fantasy or sci-fi, one being realistic fiction, to prove to you that this activity works for any genre. I'm going to take those sample, randomly generated plots, and I'm going to build a world for them using drop. And when I say we're going to be building a fictional world here, I mean quite literally. You're going to use this activity to make a map so you can visualize the places you're talking about. Let's get started by going over what you're going to do. You may want to bring a bucket with you for emptying all these ingredients into when you collect them from your local nature department. Textures you use when generating this map, the better. So I'm going to add a little something extra you may not have at your disposal, which is some dried moss. Now that we've got all the natural ingredients we need, it's time to put together the board for our map. A couple things I advise you to have. 1, some kind of tray to keep all of the sediment you drop on this paper to make your map on the map. 2nd, you're going to need some paper. I recommend 4 sheets taped together. You're also going to need a marker, pen, something you can write with that's going to be easily seen on your paper. Now, as in every good club song, it's time for the drop. Alright, let's do it. So what I'm going to do now is take this, outline this structure, including all the little outlying islands and everything, as best as I can, and then I'm going to use that outline to create a map on one side of this paper for a fantasy sci-fi story, and on the other side of the paper for a more realistic fiction story. I'll be using a random plot generator to come up with those ideas from writingexercises.co.uk. Great website, check it out. Giving myself 10 minutes for each plot to outline the map. And go. As you probably just noticed as I was outlining, I wouldn't use your favorite Sharpie for this. It's a little gritty with all the different materials you have going on. You have to kind of dig your Sharpie through it. Tip will get pretty messed up. But overall, I made some rough shapes. Now I'm going to clear the actual earth materials off here and kind of sharpen up those lines. And then I'll get to work on the actual features, the locations for the plot. Time to generate them and get started adding some features. We're talking a 10-minute timer for a science fiction or fantasy story, 10-minute timer for a realistic fiction story. Let's go. And And the way I'm going to accomplish using the same map for both of those is I'm just going to trace a mirror image of the map on the other side of it. Here I am again on writingexercises.co.uk. Oh, cool, courthouse. All right, good place to start. Let's check out this nonfiction setting, born from the idea just of a courthouse. You can see I added an abandoned estate here for some character. Also, Deela's Cove, which is going to be a tourist attraction that the locals hate. You can see that the actual place is called Juriston, which is this town. I gated it off here, so it's a countryside town, and you can see the courthouse in town there. I made some of these shapes into, over here you can see Lithburn Peak, it's a mountain, there's a farm. Over to the right, I added a little landmass involving a forest that's going to be forbidden for the townspeople to go to, add even more intrigue. It's gated off, and there's a even creepier village than the tiny Juriston, the even tinier Beanjock. So yeah, that's what I came up with, just using these shapes and seeing what they looked like and picturing the countryside. Now I'm going to generate the setting for my science fiction fantasy story. As you can see, this tool actually has a bunch of other functions as well you can use to basically generate your whole plot, but for our purposes here, just using it for setting. A desert! Alright, let's do it. I came up with this place called Teleria, the Telerian Wastes. It's a desert island, basically. Been invaded on the western side here by a foreign kingdom called Dureen. They've set up a factory. It's creating all kind of runoff next to the cactus wood. Here in the center, the three tribes, the Jono, Sinir, and Duna tribe, they live near the Three Pikes Mountains, and they run this wasteland natively. The Sumersa temple down here at the bottom is where they meet for their yearly council. And over on the right, you can see there's another barrier where another neighboring kingdom has invaded on the right. And you can see off the coast here, there's some cortical mines. And cortical is the valuable substance that these two kingdoms are after invading this desert nation. There you go, guys. One realistic fiction, one science fiction fantasy kind of world. Between generating the plots and the actual drop and outlining the map, adding details to it, not only did it really help me come up with concepts and give me just like a very easy foundation to build from, it was pretty damn fun. Honestly, I would recommend this way to build a world to anyone who is struggling or just doesn't know where to start with world building in their own novel. There you go, the drop. It works. A little dirty, and don't use your favorite marker, but if you can take 5 minutes to pull together a bunch of stuff you can just find outside, it works. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and as my job search continues, I will be continuing to make weekly YouTube videos. Bottom line is that I'm moving away from YouTube. I'll leave up the videos I've done. If you guys would like to support me, you can like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. You can become a patron, and as I said in my last video, my wife and I, we just need to make enough to feed ourselves and feel a little more comfortable. So if we have success on Patreon, I can continue the channel full-time, kind of like I have been doing. But if not, it's been a great journey, and thank you guys for supporting me so much. If you need more intense writing help than what you can get in my free weekly YouTube videos, check out my website. I do written writing help on my blog, and there's also my course, The Basics of Writing. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope the drop serves you in your world building purposes. Roadside Writer, out.